Richmond's letter, so we all know what that says. Any questions about it?
That's where their concerns are, you said, or you're saying?
Well,
Is
there
that
is,
the
but
letter in
it's a
question?
communication letter to us, the board. But, if there's any questions about it, we'll talk about them. If not, we know what.
Was it intended to be publicly disclosed? Was it intended to be read into the record as part?
Not that I know of.
Just a second, I'll look at the webpage. Just a minute.
The letter has concerns about a few of the things that we are not going to talk about tonight. The 20-year plan and that.
Right, that's another,
I just wanted to make sure everybody got it, and if there's questions about it, we'll talk about it.
can't seem to find it. Hang on a sec.
So I think the latter portion of the letter is about what's before us tonight, right?
I think so.
Yeah. The first part is about the master plan.
Paragraph 5 is about the master plan.
But right underneath it, it says, "This brings me back to the request to modify the Coquitlam Township zoning ordinance to accommodate the concept of tourist dwellings anywhere within C1 zoning in the township." That is directly related to what's on the agenda tonight. Do you want me to read it from that point forward? I can.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks.
I got caught printed out.
All right, this brings me back to the request to modify the Coquitlam Township zoning ordinance to accommodate the concept of tourist dwellings anywhere within C1 zoning in the township. Bullet point 1, is the existing city water, city sewer, and fire protection infrastructure able to accommodate these new structures? Bullet point 2, what about adequate parking, since these units are likely to be rented by boaters or people fishing? Is there adequate parking to accommodate their arrival in trucks, SUVs, cars, as well as their recreational vehicles, boats, 3- and 4-wheelers, and snowmobiles for either summer or winter fishing? If people are renting a tourist dwelling space adjacent to the marina, it is almost a given that they are doing so to take advantage of what the marina and the Saginaw Bay have to offer, since there isn't a beach area to visit, meaning that they will have multiple motorized vehicles that may or may not fit within the driveway of these units. With these being short-term rentals, probably 1 to 2 weeks at a time or less, there likely won't be a way to ensure that anyone not following the requirements of the zoning ordinance can be contacted to get into compliance, because by the time the zoning administrator is notified of a written complaint, they will have checked out and moved on. The question is this really the right time to modify the full zoning ordinance to accommodate these tourist dwellings prior to the master plan being completed? Or should we see how these structures may or may not fit into the new master plan, assuming there is adequate water, sewer, fire protection, and parking to accommodate the construction of these short-term rental dwellings? Thank you for considering these issues before you vote on this important topic.
Okay, so that's been read into, well, here. It's just the last, after section 5 on the last page. Was read.
So, you want it verbatim in there?
No, but you get an idea.
Okay.
Put a synopsis in there of what was read.
Well, just as a point of order, Mr. Supervisor, this is a communication, so that entire email should be included in the packet.
Well, I am including it in the packet, and it will be put on file here as an entire communication.
So how much more do I need to put into the minutes besides a letter from M.A. Kirchman to each of the board members concerning,
In my opinion, none, because usually people just receive communications. They don't actually read every word of every communication. But the fact that it has to be in the packet, so if somebody FOIAs the packet, then they have the entire email, not just the one piece read, but the entire email available to them in the entirety.
okay,
I can print it off too.
yeah, we're gonna have to, I keep a copy, but then Sam has a copy and
I
we
just
need,
need that one back.
yeah, take that one back and give me one.
Cause I leave it in the packet, or in my packet.
Yeah, that way all three are treated the exact same. So if you had 5 people each sent a letter and one isn't treated any different than the other.
All right, then I'll make a motion to accept the communications.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Public input.
Cameron Penix, 53 South Linwood Beach Road. I'm representing me along with my mom and dad. They're in Texas right now. We had a family emergency. I was supposed to be there myself, but unfortunately with the stuff going on in our township, some things require a little bit of separation at this time. So, but first, I'd like to say that our whole family opposes the changes to the tourist dwellings. Our family is going to be the most directly impacted family out of anyone in this whole township over what these buildings are going to do. So I do find that the fact that people on these boards that are making these decisions but don't live anywhere close to what is going on and who's going to be affected daily and their whole life is going to change a little bit when all this comes around, it's kind of crazy that it all comes up to you guys. We're your constituents. If we're here saying we don't like something, we ask that you just listen and work with us. We're not saying that you fully abolish somebody else, but we'd love to feel like our input is actually being taken and used instead of just ignored, because it has very well felt that way for the majority of people that I have talked to. Now, y'all may talk to different people. We all don't see the same people. I've not really ever seen any of you inside of the community at any point in my 30 years of living in Linwood. So that's also very weird to me. If I've lived there my whole life and I've never met pretty much any of you before coming to these board meetings, how can you represent the community if you don't know the people in the community? So, but I'm going to get more to kind of what I was on topic. So I oppose the changing for the tourist dwellings that you guys are getting ready to put into place. All of you on these boards get to make these decisions on things that directly affect others, people's lives, but not yours. How many of your homes have businesses opening 25 feet from your resident windows? And I'm not talking their property line, that's after the setbacks. So they're 25 feet from 9 of our windows that face right towards what used to be just a beautiful place to look out to and see, for my parents at the time, their kids out having fun growing up. The stuff that I wanted to do with my family at some point, I actually envisioned growing up and raising my own kids in my family's home. Cabins go up there, I would not raise my family there. My family will probably end up selling everything and leaving this township with us. So, but, let's see, where am I? Now I've been to multiple of these meetings, and I have yet to see any citizen who you work for show up and actually say they want these dwellings, other than people that are directly tied to those people that are building it, that have profit to make off of it, and are looking to put in something for just sheer value, okay? Now, your votes on this agenda tonight, they will determine futures on these boards. You can look at me and roll eyes or laugh. I'm a 30-year-old man coming here. What the heck do I know? But I know the people in these townships. I've grown up with many of them. Lots of them are my friends. Lots of them are their parents and my parents' friends. We will rally. We will come together. And the people will take back the township. If you guys want to be a part of it, we'd love to have you. But to us, again, from my side, I'm just sick of the it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission kind of idea where things kind of happen, then we're informed, and then we'll talk about them. Or like the one that's kind of presented to us with the development, a lot of cart before the horse. Well, let's put everything in place for them to build the way they want and do what they want, and then let's worry about it later, you know. So, but you've been left with unchecked power for too long. It's time we, the people, come back and take over our community. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing none, we will move on business. And I have the bid from Orkin here. And I did not open the bid from,
Must be Rickon.
it's, Ripon and Pest Control. Yeah, we don't have
Less interested with communication. What's that?
They had a hard time showing up.
Yeah.
So, from Orkin, the bid is full service and, this one is for, there's two separate bids here.
One for each building.
One is $472.32. And it's gotta tell me which building it is.
Administration, I think the next one might say home.
Oh, they both say administration. Both got the same address.
Is this the same thing that was sent to us?
No.
No, this is something different, okay.
This is just talking about Orkin.
Inside the front page.
Oh, here we go. There's some stuff on the back here I didn't see. This is total initial month is $67, first service visit is $67, and so the annual fee on the hall is gonna be $469. That's the annual fee. And the annual fee on the administration building is going to be $804. And that's Orkin.
And that's administration and fire hall.
Yes, that's
Together,
this
yeah.
building in its entirety,
And that's-
What was on the hall, I'm sorry?
$469.
69, thank
And
you.
that's continuing with the same service, the
Yes, that's
sticky traps and just
Orkin.
checking them and replacing them and spraying as needed, and
Right.
I assume they do the requisite reporting as well.
Right, you got a turtle in one.
That's interesting, a little inhumane.
Well, once the turtle got in there,
And he couldn't get out.
you couldn't get out.
It was also in the building, so. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's weird
Yeah.
too. Doesn't happen every day.
That's amazing. He'd never seen it in all these years.
This piece of
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I see it on the back there.
it. There's the contract. Oh, yeah? Oh, I bet you that's one building and this another building.
Sample service agreement, 5%.
Right here it says installation setup, $88. Total cost of routine maintenance service, $88 a month bill.
Does it say what building it is?
I think that's all together, but I'm not sure.
Visual Loans, Griffin, Bureau Pest Service. You got any bills or
Because I
anything else
think-
over there?
Well, I got two different bills here, but it doesn't say what they're for. This one speaks of the two monitoring traps for garage, two monitoring traps for the hall and kitchen, and blue boards for other areas. So this is
Okay, so
how.
it's on here as well. I think what she had verbalized when I had talked to her and asked her to submit the bid was that she had the same, right, apples to apples comparison, monthly service, so that would be doing exactly what Orkin's doing now.
But
And
this
this
is what
is
they recommend.
recommended, which would be 88, and then I think here it says if you pay the year in advance, there's a 5% discount on top of that.
Exactly.
So this would be 69 times 12 is 828. The other one is $88.
Yep.
And the $88 times 12 is 1,056 a year.
Is there any other information in here that was, like,
The only thing is the traps and that they're speaking of. I mean, he's got a trap in every office, in the bathroom. I don't know what's out in the fire barn for traps.
He's got 2 or 3 of them in the apparatus bay, there's one over here in the living quarters.
One in the bathroom.
One in the bathroom.
in the offices.
No, there's one by the door, usually if we get mice, it's usually out in the apparatus floor, we don't have a call in a while in the living quarters, thankfully, but I'm not saying it's not outside the realm, that one will sneak on in there sometimes.
That's part of this.
right, that's the back page.
So
Catch a lot of frogs.
apparently turtles.
I'm guessing that turtles probably falls into the apparatus floor, I guess. The doors are.
I chased the mink out of here one night, so,
Wow.
in the summer, when the
So,
doors
and
were
We got a little crack on this
Oh, wait.
back door here. I'd say that turtle just got in.
Yeah.
It's pretty wet then. That's for the one in this building,
Right.
right?
No, this was,
28.
well, they're saying there's two bids are for both of them.
But this speaks about method of control for non-chemical techniques, as glue boards, perforone, pheromone traps, mechanical traps, ultraviolet vacuum, and foam sealant or caulking. Kind of goes on chemical techniques, pesticides, and rodent baits, service procedures, exterior.
I don't think we have any chemicals.
Well,
He sprays around the
It's
exterior of the building,
because
that's
it's-
when needed.
because it's public, because it's government, they can't just spray. They can only spray if there's a reason to spray, and they have to also do all of the required paperwork, which is the IPM program with logbook.
Yeah, right here, it talks about even the locker rooms, so that's the fire department treating the locker rooms.
And there's a note here that says, as of right now, you have a very minimal program. There are no exterior rodent devices, and I only saw glue boards on the inside. I usually like to see a couple of exterior rodent devices to prevent mice issues inside, especially this time of year. And while glue boards are fine for protected or secluded areas like under sinks or in boiler rooms to monitor for activity, in kitchens they tend to get wet, which then ruins them, and in high traffic areas like the firehouse garage, they tend to get crushed. For areas like this, I like to see actual plastic or metal traps with the monitoring devices inside. I also noted that in the rafters of the covered walkway to the offices, birds are roosting there and pooping on the sidewalk below. Bird droppings can carry over 60 diseases, like 2 I'm not even gonna try to pronounce. We do offer bird work as a service, so if this is a concern for the township, I can let you know what the options are for an area like that. So,
I
just a
suggest,
note.
since we're probably,
Okay.
we probably could decide on these in January. I suggest we table it, and I'll put the two together on 2 separate sheets of paper, of what is what on each one of them, and give it to everybody, and in January we'll decide who we're gonna go with.
Yeah, and I think to make sure we're comparing apples to apples, that's how they said, you know, they recommend your locker rooms be treated and things like that, so we make sure that that is what, make sure what people are actually treating.
Right. What I'm saying is, I'll put it on a graph.
I get that, I'm just saying, I think it's worth seeing what they're gonna actually treat.
So we're going to table the pest control bids in January. And I will compile. I'm just gonna write on my thing, apples to apples. All right. we went back, we were at Bay County at the water and sewer, and they went back to 2015. We have not done a sewer rate adjustment since before 2015. That's as far back as at the meeting we could go without a thorough investigation. And we are running about 40 cents behind most of the townships for the cost of sewage.
Okay?
We're at $3.55. Most of them are over $4. I would recommend that we at least come to the $4 mark for the sewage to bring us in the ballpark. We don't want to go backwards, because what they were talking about is from this year forward, we're going to go backwards in our account at the sewage at the county. And we don't want to go backwards. So I would be recommending that we raise it, and this is only for the accounts that are on the sewer. But we haven't raised the sewer bill in a long time.
And that would equate, if I took my sewer bill, to $9 a quarter. Because that's personally how I like to see something like this.
Well, the
What-
40 cents is per CCF, which is 1,000 gallons.
It said I used 20 units on my bill, so I took my 20 units times that amount of money, it would equate to $9 a quarter.
So this would hit everybody that's on the sewer though, because, specifically because of the minimum sewer charge, which I believe is for 20 units. So you pay for 20 units every quarter, whether you use it or not, and then you're gonna pay above that if your water usage exceeds. So
Yes.
it's gonna hit everybody, even the people that are paying the minimum sewer charge and don't use anywhere near that much water, they're still gonna get the increase as well.
That is right. But the money that's at the sewer,
That's exactly the case right here, the 355 times 20, so our minimum charge is actually gonna go to $4 per. Either $3.95 or $4. So the minimum sewer charge per quarter would actually go up to $80 a quarter for sewage. And we still have $713,000 in our fund balance for sewage.
well, that's not exactly true, because we had pumping stations, if you recall, a couple of years ago, that we couldn't buy parts for anymore.
Okay?
So we have, the last couple of years, replaced the pumping stations with new pumps and new electric boards. And I think we've got 2 at $76,000 that have not come out of the balance there yet. That was the cost at the time that we decided to start replacing. The first one was the one on Linwood Road by Linwood Beach Road.
Yes.
And then there was 3 more on the way to the
One by
pumping
Cottage
station.
Grove or something.
So, but the only way we could fix a pump would be to send it out and have manufactured parts. So, there is some money to come out of that sewer bill yet.
So take, hypothetically, we'll say it drops our balance down to $500,000. But we don't wanna be out of money because you gotta repair things once in a while, which I understand.
But hopefully unless a line breaks or something like that, the pumping station should be in good shape for many years to come.
So we still have, according to this statement, which was the end of September, we still have about 400,000 that's unreserved in this account. And this is before the last round of water and sewer bills.